Welcome everyone to International Racing Team's round 2 of the Sin R1 Cup. I'm Tommy Kutashi and I welcome the marvelous Mal Legrand with us. That's right, today we are tackling the Mont Panorama circuit, opened in 1938, 87 years ago, quite long ago, most prominent for its GT Championship and Australian V8 series entries. And our car will be, the series car is going to be the Sin R1, which isn't a very publicly known car. Basically, a Bulgarian chap in 2012 decided, what if we made a lightweight, small sports car and slapped a 6.2 Chevrolet Source V8 engine in it. And here you can see the result. And quite shortly, you'll be able to hear it as well, which will be absolutely marvelous.
The track is really great because you can easily overtake, but you need to stay focused to don't crash.
That's absolutely right. So before we jump onto the qualifying, we shall take a look at our championship standings. So if we take a look at it, Kasuni is leading with 50 points, taking back-to-back wins in our first run. Absolutely dominant performance, followed by Spawn, who also put up a pretty decent comeback performances in the first round. So he's definitely up to the challenge. And we got to mention how crazy it is that Bajaki is holding P3 against Titans like this. His rating on Virgin Sphere is just 1200 so far, which is compared to the first two people, they have pace ratings above 2000, and he has a rookie license, which means that he haven't put that much races in the platform so far, but he's holding up pretty well. Following them is OR with 25 points, and closing the group right now is Kutkevicius and Leona. But yeah, we'll see how this championship will go on and how the points will accumulate after the second round.
Yeah, so tonight there will be 6 drivers at the start. So it's the same number of drivers than the last 2 weeks. Kia Lamy.
So what do you reckon what will happen today? It's a very it's something is very known about this track is that, well, the wall section, the S's and the dipper, it's a very relentless part of the track for any drivers, let it be amateurs and pros as well.
Yeah, you can easily lose control and crash, and this can ruin your race. So drivers need to be fast and to do clean overtake, but also be careful at this part of the circuit because it's the hardest, and I think one of the hardest in the world.
Absolutely right. It takes the pretty decent amount of skills for anyone to, well, to just go and make a hot lap around the track, let alone race other people and be fast consistently when there are someone breathing down your neck, for example, chasing you.
Yeah, so Bathurst is really a great track and an historical track. So we don't see a lot of tracks with a lot of historic races. Like, there is the GT World uh, and also the Australian Championship. So it's Bathurst is one of the big name of circuits in the world.
Absolutely. I don't know if you knew that, but this circuit is actually, if when there are no races held, it can be used as a public road. So you can at any time, free of charge, go there and take a lap. And I guess the main reason people do it is the wonderful vista from the skyline corner and the most high part of the track. But it's always just pretty cool to bring your own car around parts of the world where normally, I shall say, normally fierce race cars are going around. According to Wikipedia, the local police is strictly reinforcing a 60 kilometer per hour speed limit on the track on normal days. So you
Okay.
can't go that crazy here, but I think it's pretty cool that you can basically just get out of your house and drive there and go around this wonderful track.
Yeah. Yeah, so this track is quite old. I don't remember exactly what year did they start to race there, but as I said, like this historical track, just um, the history of this track is just really impressive because like they just um, just start to claim like the trucks, the motorbikes. Sometimes I saw some races on motorbikes and some cars. So it's motorsport. It's not only like for cars. It's a place for motorsport. All the motorsport is welcome to this track. So it's quite impressive.
Yeah, I can only imagine what thrill it could be to take literally any fast vehicle, let it have two, four, three, or whatever number of wheels around this track.
So qualifying is going to start.
Yes, in any second now we'll see the drivers going for the laps in just a moment.
So in pre-qualification, Cassoni did a 2.12.0. So and he has 1 second, 0.2 of gap between P1 and P2. So it's quite big.
It's quite hefty, yes.
Yeah. But I think we shouldn't take the results on the pre-qualification because it's like there are some guys in 2.22, 2.19, 2.17. So I think we will be faster today, and I hope. So we are going to see.
That's right. In the practice, people are really just getting a feel of the track, but here this is the real deal.
And careful on the walls.
That's right. As we discussed in the end of the previous round, this part, obviously, this is the most known part. The fastest corners and the deeper, all the corners leading up to it's really on the highest part of the mountain. This is unforgiving. It's not that there's little room for error or a little runoff area. There's none. If you are not on the track, you are in the wall, basically.
Yeah, no place for the mistake there.
would you consider this an easy or a difficult track to tackle? I know that we discussed that it's tough to put a good lap and to compete on this track, but I mean from the sense that, in my opinion, for learning and for mastering it, it's not that horribly difficult of a track as it might look for the first time.
Yeah, but it depends on the car.
That's right.
If you have a car where you can control your car easily, like in GT3 or GT4, it's more difficult. But GT3 with this track is perfect to learn how to brake, how to manage your tires, how to escape the mistakes of the walls, because it's an art and you need to learn that thing. It's really important. But I think, yeah, it depends of the car you have. But honestly, it's a good track to learn, but it's not the best.
I agree. Well, if we can agree on something, it's quite a unique track.
Yeah.
So let's see how Spoon is the most difficult part of the track on this quali lap. This might be the most mentally tough part of the entire, let's say, entire session, because you have these really tight sections with in minuscule room for error, and in qualification, this is the only place where you have to bring 110% your skills and your pace, because in the race you can absolutely, well, of course not be slow, but you can kick your feet up a little and just focus more on consistency than raw pace. But here it is absolutely on for who can just go in a circle and please them on attack.
You can gain a lot of time there. On the second sector, it's the place where you need to be focused 100%, because you can lose so many time if you do a teeny mistake. So yeah, you mustn't do a mistake.
Spoon starts shooting the first lap with a 2:13.6. Let's see how our other competitors can compare to that. He's just finishing up his first half lap with a 2:14.1. These guys might take it a bit easy for their first lap. Yeah, tires are still not up to temperature, and also it is that you, especially here, you shouldn't push all out on your first lap, because you will just end up breaking your car and losing precious time. And when you only have 10 minutes to settle the qualifying, it's just good to have a not necessarily your best, but still a solid base lap.
And there is less than 5 minutes left, so not many time to do the rest of the laps. So if you crash, it's going to be complicated to do a quali lap.
That's right. So let's take a look at what our third competitor is up to, just finishing his first lap. Well, I think I saw him, I don't know if it was him getting back to the pits, so this might just be his we'll see in just a second.
Yeah, he went to pits.
Excuse me, this will be his first lap. So let's take a ride aboard our championship leader. With a good listen to his car and see how he is tackling this circuit. In the meantime, from 2:12.6, pretty well sold out. We are Taking out
so
the base.
that's a great lap. He didn't do this lap in pre-qualification, so he's improving.
Just what we're talking about. People are really putting their people best out here. Oh, and Cassini lost it. Purple first sector, but lost it in the S's.
I was going to say that he used all the track, and unfortunately he won't finish the lap.
Very little time is left for him.
Yeah. And Spawn is improving.
Yeah.
So a great pace.
That's a declaration of 4.
Yeah. Olerar is in the pits. So no lap for him. I think no, he won't do another lap. Oh, careful there. Oh, I think he did a mistake, Spawn.
Yeah, I did see the voice looking up and a little kiss with the wall. Yeah, one mistake here can not just, it doesn't just damage your car, it damages your mental state as well.
Yeah.
Looking at this part of the track, it always reminds me that it can be quite tricky to do aero setup because yes, it does have the wall section with all the tricky corners, but it also has 2 enormous huge straights. So if you Spawn is spitting, there is little wall by the way. So if you can go too high with the downforce because then you'll just lose precious amount of time in the straights, especially in the race where slipstream can also be an important factor. It is really a hard balancing act with the aero. However, this championship is fixed setup, so our drivers do not have to be concerned with this type of problem.
Yeah, and there is more equality between drivers because some of the drivers don't know how to do great setups. Like Cassini, with the experience he have, it's just he know how to do great setups, and so now he's going to do another lap.
And this is his last chance to top Spawn for the top spot of qualifying.
Yeah, so we saw that Cassini is fast, but he do mistakes, so he needs to be focused on the race. Because if he do a mistake, he can lose many points, and so it's going. If on the next rounds he crash too, and so he has a rivalry with another driver, it's going to be complicated. So he needs to take the most point possible. So he mustn't do any mistake.
That's right. If anything, he wants to stretch that already quite significantly when you're in the championship. Actually, he surprised me quite a bit in this qualifying because based on the first rounds, he wasn't that error prone. So I'm quite surprised that he left his only proper hot lap for the very last chance, and yeah, he isn't finished with it so far. So purple first sector, like the first time, but let's see if he can take it home not just fast but clean too.
So now it's good in the second sector. No mistake.
That's right. Oh, a little oversteer. Oh, and that might be it. It can be that.
Yeah, it's going to be complicated.
It can be that the car is quite tricky on this track because I refuse to believe that drivers of this quality of our competitors today cannot tackle this track without a mistake.
Yeah, I think he lose the rear of the car.
It certainly looked like that.
So last corner, we will see which position and which time.
If
So
we,
with the mistake, it's a 2.14.
that's right.
So we have the qualification done. So for race 1, it's going to be spun in P1 with a 2.12.6. P2 Cassoni with a 2.14.0, and then Olera with 2.14.2.
So even with the
Third
mistake,
place.
Cassini could at least get a position ahead. That's quite respectable.
Yeah. I think the time he did in the sector 1, he lost it in sector 2 and a bit sector 3 because with a straight line, he lost time because he didn't have a good exit.
That's right. Yeah, what you point out is actually very important. That it is key to do. It isn't just that you need to do the middle of that second sector with all the corners properly, but you need to concentrate on that. You get out of it, especially sports from last corners, fast enough, because when there's on any track, if there is an enormous straight, the thing you want to get right is the corner before it, because just if even if you do a perfect lap around a track but mess up that the corner, which is usually, for example, the last corner before the start finish straight, or the corner leaning down from the mountain here on this track, then that's it basically for your lap time.
Yeah, it's really important to have a precision on this track and to be fast, because if you have only one of them, it's really complicated to do a great lap.
Yeah, it's a real skill test for any drivers out there. So in just 40 seconds time, we will have our red lights go off. Let's see what these guys can flash out for us. Just real quick, if you are here with us first time, we will have two races. This one 20-minute race and then a second 20-minute race between reverse grid. But let's concentrate on the first race now. The lights going off. Yeah, so it's a very decent start immediately for P1.
Yeah, what a great start. We'll see.
Now the aero of these cars work a bit weird in the sense that slipstream is not as prominent as it could be. So you will need to be straight up faster than the other driver. You can just sit back and hope that in those long straights you are getting no matter what.
Yeah, and so now they need to be really careful because it's the first lap and they are really close. So someone needs to just be calm, and Spawn and Olera needs to focus on follow Cassoni, because we know that Spawn is faster at the moment and Cassoni can do mistakes. So I think if I was Spawn, I will wait for the mistake and just I will be at 1/10 of Cassoni for the moment, just to see, to make pressure on him, because it's very important in this circuit to do pressure.
Yeah, that's it. I think I saw some smoke from braking too hard, I'm assuming. But then I might be wrong, because he is actually was stretching the rhythm spoon. So what you said is also a very important point, because on this track you need to be on the hill section, you need to be very, very mindful of the person ahead of you, because on other tracks, the guy ahead of you makes a mistake, they go off track, it's fine, you overtake him easily. But on this track, between the walls, you have to be really, really mindful, because if the guy ahead makes a mistake, then it's very easy that they take you away with him, basically. So you have to be close, but not too close, because if they hit a wall and put their car like blocking the track, then you will just smash into them, and your race is just as over as theirs is.
Yeah, and we saw this in like online races and in real life.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah, there are only three, so it's not that important, but they need to be careful.
So far, mistakes from one place, they're really taking it easy and not pushing us hard all the time.
Yeah, they are. Oh, yeah.
Very easy to go too wide in the corner. It's a very fast left-hander.
Yeah. Will we see if he has damages?
So you can be glad, because they set the gap.
And has only just lock a bit. So yeah, I think he locks his wheels at this turn. Just not many, but a bit. Like sometimes, yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, the forced out of the corner can be a pretty tricky down for one. It looks like, especially in this car, you have to be really considerate with your braking.
And so 15 minutes left. 2 laps done.
So far, so good.
So Cassoni do a lap in 2.13.9, Spawn in 2.14.6, and Olerar in 2.14.4.
Well, I'd say Cassini could really have reset resource sometimes qualifying instead of the race bar. But I mean, with the starting turn, there's really nothing to regret here. Immediately in turn one, he was first position. And
yeah,
maintaining a quite clear gap between him and Spawn.
Yeah, but he's not flying over. The gap is only 1/10.
That's right, that is actually even with the little taps, Spawn has big walls, so he cannot really get farther away in a second. And also Olerar is keeping up in them pretty nicely, so far it looks like Olerar can mainly win from if the two guys ahead of him make any mistake. But as I said earlier, he is maintaining the just perfect enough gap for it. Yeah, a little ball tap for Spawn again. He seems like there's like a huge magnet in these walls again.
Yeah, so I think he don't have damages for now, but if he continues, like, it's going to be complicated.
that rating-wise, Olehar is behind the two other guys. But just as mentioned, I think he is also keeping pretty decently.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he has nothing
So-
to be shameful about. This is absolute solid performance so far.
Yeah. So every drivers did their best lap. So Cassoni did 2.13.3, Spawn 2.13.7, and Olerar 2.14.2. So the gap is quite small.
The drivers would just concentrate on the championship sentence I think, because unnecessary we're really at the beginning. And well, let's be frank, we are doing here for fun. Oh, large mistake from Cassoni, and
Yeah,
sends the car for the track like Greece. Well, this is what we were talking about, and now Spawn can be even a bit glad that he wasn't just like 100 behind Cassoni, because that would have been incident for both of them.
And so Cassoni and Spawn are P1 and P2 in the championship standing, so it's really important. At the moment, they're rivals for the championship.
That's right, it's not just a random clashes, we are watching the battle for the first position, not just in race, but in the championship team.
And Olerar is P4, so he's just behind Bojanski, and so he can take P3, so it's really important.
That's right, it's extremely important for these three people to, if they just finish the race without DNFing because of a crash or something, they will have a lot of points for the championship.
Yeah, and so Olerar is consistent. He's in 2.14.2 and his best lap is 2.14.2. So it's good because he's not that fast compared to Cassoni and Spawn, but he has a consistency. So Bathurst is really important, and it's good to have this.
Absolutely, the two guys ahead of him cannot really stretch away. Let's see if Sony can do this clean now. It is key to me because Spawn is closer than he was in the previous lap. So any mistake now will hurt not just time, but his position as well.
Yeah, and a lot of points.
Little loss of control.
Yeah. So 9 minutes 30 left.
Well, Cassoni is lucky that the track is, well, it's both lucky and unlucky that the track is so tight here, because yes, you jump from mistake, but as we could see, if you do commit a mistake, it's still pretty hard for the driver behind you to overtake you, because you can just park it on the middle of the track and set an obstacle.
Spawn.
You're outside from
Yeah,
the
I
straight.
think
That was a pretty neat
Cassoni did a
overtake.
mistake.
Yeah, it didn't have a good mistake
Oh, okay.
for the straight.
So change of leader.
That's right. But I'm pretty sure that Cassoni will now put like some serious pressure. So,
Yeah,
so
but they need to
Olaer
be
is pretty
careful
close to them.
because there is Olerar, and he can do a good race. Like he can take P2 or P1.
Because Marvel, the battle is absolutely on. It's not that the three drivers just get scattered across three different points of the track. They're still not together after.
Gap.
That's right. They're still absolutely together. That will pass the half time of the race. Now Cassoni will have to move more in his rearview mirror than to concentrate on
Yeah.
P1.
And Olera did his personal best time, 2.13.8, so he has the same pace as Spawn and Cassoni. So this is a battle at 3 people, so yeah, it's really interesting to see. So is someone going to do a mistake there? Not for now.
Corners, I think he pretty much learned from the previous two laps. He just cannot afford to lose the car again.
Tough luck for Spawn and Cassoni.
So far, Spawn has put I think a more consistent performance than he did. He did tap the wall a few times, but I mean, no major mistakes from him. So if he can keep that up, then it's guaranteed P1 for him.
Yeah, but I don't know if Cassoni has damages or not.
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah, he hit the wall 2 times or more. So fastest lap for Spawn, fastest lap, so 2.13.1. So it's quite far of the quali lap. 1 second left. And so Cassoni has a great pace too, 2.13.4. And Olera just slow down a bit, 2.14.0.
Taking the obligatory lost charge, because after all there's only a bit more than 5 minutes left. Oh, and Cassini lose it.
Yeah. And I think
now Hardy also overtakes him. Very luck, this guy in this race. Pretty inconsistent performance.
And so 5 minutes 30 left. So yeah, I think if Spawn don't do any mistake, he will have the win.
Yeah, he stretched away quite a bit. Cassini's mistake also kind of slowed down on the hard because he needed to take evasive action. So it's only one very big mistake of Cassini.
And I said it because after what we saw in quali, we saw him do some mistakes, and I said like he needs to be focused and to don't do mistakes because he's quite inconstant. Inconstant. So yeah, we will see in the second race if he learns of his mistakes.
Well, I'll be very eager to know what happened to him in this race, because this is not really the sort of performance he throws. He usually gets away several seconds from the pack and also scores the purple lap in races. This is not.
Yeah,
it wasn't as error prone as we can see now so far.
Yeah, but we can see understeering on his car, but I don't understand because it's fixed setup and it's only him. So I don't know if it's his driving.
Yeah, it can absolutely be his driving style.
Yeah.
As you said, we are running equal machinery here, so the only thing that is deciding here is the guy sitting behind the wheel.
So Olera must look at his mirrors now because he's only 1 second behind Cassoni. Ahead Cassoni. So yeah, he needs to do a great defense because Cassoni has a lot of experience, and I think with the pace he has and 3 minutes left, he will send an attack.
I think from corner. I saw a little oversteer from there. So he saved it, absolutely. He really needs to get on the nerve of how to take that position. Here in this track, the mental warfare is working once really as it does in, let's say, other more traditional racetracks. So it's already stressful enough for you to put a clean lap here. It's another layer that you need to be fast. And if someone is filling your mirrors and is on your gearbox, that's just unimaginable. Especially when it's about whether you finishing first, second, or third.
Yeah, and in this championship, all the positions are important, especially in this race, because you can take a lot of points. So yeah, they need to focus on the best position they can have, and Spawn did the best lap of the race so far.
Improving his laps.
Yeah, that's quite impressive.
Yeah, seems like he really familiarized himself very well with this car track combo, and seems like his driving style suits this combination better than his rivals do.
And also he's more confident every lap. So
yeah, he pushes more and more. That's right, improving that lap time.
A little mistake there for Olerar and Cassoni. Is he going to do it there? No.
Yeah, you really need to pick. Yeah, really better stick your nose between these walls, because it can end up very bad for both of you, not just your opponent.
Yeah.
If you are too ambitious with an overtake here.
Now I think he needs to wait in sector 2 and he needs to focus on the exit after the sector 2 to the straight line. And with the how do we say, like when you're just behind the car and in the straight line you have more speed.
Yeah, the slipstream from the car in front. I think you are referring to that.
Yeah, exactly.
So Cassini couldn't reach Olear's defenses, and it's only a matter of seconds until this race.
Yeah, so it's going to be the last lap. So yeah, I think Olear will have P2 and Cassani only the P3 and Spawn 4 seconds ahead. So really impressive. What a driving.
Good job for him. Absolute top performance. And also from Lehar, he basically defended. He put up a really consistent performance, and then defended from like last quarter of the race against one of our best competitors. So good job from all three of our drivers.
Yeah, and so it's the first win of Spawn this year on this championship. And so also I'm going to check, and it's the first podium of Olera.
Is it?
So
No, congratulations.
yeah, that's a great P2. Oh no, it's it's the first victory of Spawn, and it's the second podium for him.
Oh, great job by all of them by taking the cars safely home.
And so the best lap of the race is 1.13.0, sorry. So we are like 1 second slower than in pre-qualification. So I think drivers don't send everything they have and just they drive like they drive security, like for security of the points, to don't DNF, and so that's a great strategy.
It is, but now that you brought up the free practice. It's interesting because Kasuni has put up, as far as I remember, the best lap there. So it is not that he would be any slow or like straight up bad or
Yeah,
inconsistent on this track. So it's very interesting that then in this race he
and
was fighting for his life on the mountain.
yeah, and also he did 9 laps. So I think he did like a race. So I don't really understand all the mistakes now because he has practiced. So and also a great pace.
So that was it for the first race of the second round of the Sin Arman Cup. Just to rehearse, Spohn finished in P1 with a purple lap, although we don't give out points for that here. Olehar took P2, great race, and Sonia still brought the car in for P3. So what do you think? What will the second race be like? It's supposed to be a reverse grid, although to be fair, with three people, and the power rankings is not going to get that mixed up. But still, for example, if you take a look at um, how good of a start Kasuni took, it can be decisive that how can people throw the car off the start line.
Honestly, the start of Cassoni was really impressive compared to Spawn. So now that he's in P1, uh, I think that if he take the same start as he took in race 1, he will have a bit of gap. And Spawn needs to overtake Olera at the start because if he don't do that, he will lose time. And this time, if Cassoni do another mistake, he probably couldn't overtake him.
That's right, and we saw a beautiful showcase of Olahar's defense skills and consistency. So you're absolutely right that if Spawn cannot get past him very early in the race, maybe straight at the start, he will have a pretty tough time passing that guy, and that will just work towards Kasuni stretching away in first place. That is, if he doesn't make mistakes like he did in the first race. So that's also a factor we need to consider.
And also, Olera has the same pace as Cassoni and Spawn. So they are just he's just 3 tenths slower than them. So yeah, they need to to just focus on their driving, but be careful at Olera.
Yeah. So overall, I'm really curious if this little wait time can serve to the drivers, especially Cassini, as a real little breathing room to gather themselves together and to maybe analyze a bit the mistakes and to, well, not commit them in the second race.
Yeah, so 30 seconds before the start, which one will be P1 at turn 1?
And it's lights out for the second race. Ksenia started from P1, so can absolutely just benefit from that, considering the starts he can do. He got sort of bunch up for first corner, but everyone is away safely so far.
Yeah, so now we are going to sector 2, so they really need to be careful there because
So
they are
take the
really
side
close.
for defense.
Yeah.
Oh, a little contact
Oh.
between them. So much that Spawn can actually overtake Mahar for P2.
Yeah, so for Spawn it's the best way to move it because Olera did a mistake and so he can overtake easily without any risks.
Yeah, that's exactly what we discussed. That this is very beneficial for the house. Olahar is pretty good at defending at this track, so now Spawn can be past him and go after Kasuni. See if he can take the win for the second race or first. Oh, and he loses it. Oh,
Yeah.
in the braking is the wall.
Yeah, I think he has damages now. I don't know.
It seemed like a major hit.
Yeah.
The downhill section losing the brakes. Man, oh man. He will.
Oh yeah. In the replay, he just brake too much, and so yeah, that's a shame.
It really is because now he will have he basically has a little bit less to work on that 3-second gap in the more hard wishes, but not impossible. We saw actually if someone can make a comeback, it would be Spawn, because I remember in the previous run he also made pretty marvelous comebacks from situations like this.
Yeah, and also his confidence is going to be lower because after a crash, generally you don't go too fast in the part where you crashed. So yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see if he commits another mistake or but he's going faster without doing any mistake.
That's absolutely right. That's actually a very interesting subconscious mental obstacle to overcome, because even if you know exactly what mistake you need to do, like you brake to pass, you try to transfer the weight of the car a little bit too eagerly. Even then, when you approach that corner in the next lap and the lap after, your brain will go just a bit slower here, because you made a mistake here. Even if you are 100% conscious about it, you did that, and it's actually, it takes skill to overcome that. So even if you make a mistake, you can go full throttle on the next lap there.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
And also very important, because on this aspect it was the corner for the second most straight of the track. So if there is one corner that is key to take perfectly in order to put on a good lap and work down the gap between you and the guys ahead, it's in the other corner.
Olera is the only driver that didn't do any mistake. At the moment, he didn't crash, he didn't, I think, touch a wall. So his driving style
Pretty
is
amazing.
quite good. Yeah.
So it seems like he really did his homework and put on this track inside out. You can see
And so
Sony is actively stretching the lead from Olahar.
And he did 2.12.7, so he's faster than the best lap of the last race, and he's only 7/10 slower than the pre-qualification lap.
Seems like Kusumi has really brought it together after this race then. But I mean, they're still 15 minutes good, but it's not the same person, I believe, now who we saw in the previous race. This is what we are
But-
more used to based on the previous rounds. The guy who does a half lapping session, basically from the middle of the race, stretching away from the pack.
Yeah, and Spawn is coming on Oleha. He's 2 seconds back of him, so I think with his pace, he can reach him, and if he continues like this, he can reach Cassoni.
Yeah, in the last lap, Spawn has shaved off quite a gap, especially in the first sector. Purple again. What was that for?
Yeah. 2.12.3, so he improved 4 tenths, so he's only 3 tenths slower than the pre-qualification lap, so he's really fast.
Do you think it's possible for him to bring it under to 12, the 11 something?
Honestly, with his actual pace, it's really possible.
We're heading up on the hill towards Stone. I don't really see that. He makes a nice gap for the Howard in the first sector. He really knows that early uphill section.
Yeah, Spawn is really good in the first sector. We saw it with Cassoni and now with Olera. And so there is 12 minutes left, and Olera is coming on Cassoni. So he's only 2 seconds back.
Oh really?
So,
So
yeah.
he must have made a mistake then, because as far as I remember, the gap was like, what, 4 seconds?
Yeah, 4 seconds, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally, the gap made a mistake in the answers.
Yeah, I think because he's only now 1.8 seconds ahead, so yeah.
That will just spicing up even more. Now, Albert Lehar can set his eyes on the prize, but also Spoon can now not only recover from his mistake in the first lap, but can maybe set an eye on P1.
Yeah, it's totally possible.
So the gaps are completely equal now
Yeah.
between the three cars.
Yeah, there are 1 second between each. Oh, and Cassoni 2.17. Yeah, so there is a big mistake from him. And so Spawn took 1 second to Olera on this lap. So yeah, the gaps are really small, and so it will be on the end of the race, but there will be a big battle.
That's right, we're at half time, but things are just starting to get pretty interesting.
Tonight we have a great show because race 1 we had a really great battle, and now in race 2 we are going to have a great battle. So yeah, that's a great night.
When you just gather together with the drivers, especially on a track like this.
So now who is going to do the mistake? Because every driver accept spawn as a pressure. He sees somebody in the mirrors, so who is going to do the mistake? We will see.
Sony is stretching the way again, despite making the mistake previously. Together well enough to start to rebuild the gap in the corner. It was very important from him to put those very fast laps down, because that way he could have built the sort of gap that allowed him to make even a mistake and not lose the position.
Oh, and so Cassoni did a 2.12.1, so he's only 1/10 behind the pre-qualification lap. So he has a really great pace after his mistake.
Yeah, it's like almost like someone else is driving that car compared to the first race.
Yeah, it's. I think he just changed his driving, because we don't see any oversteering, and it's really different between race 2 and race 1. It was more chaotic in race 1, and now we can see he has a great pace. It's more peaceful. He doesn't send it too much at the limit, but he's really fast.
That's right. I mean, on the first race, with all fairness, Bone was breathing down his neck, so that it's something that's also a big reason why he could have made major mistakes. Because now he has much more free space behind him, and it seems like it just further encourages him to do more and to be even cleaner, because he just rebuilds like 2-3 seconds of gap in just a matter of laps.
And I think also in race 1 he was a bit frustrated, and so I think in his brain he said like, it's a new race, we need a new driving, and so now he's more focusing and no frustration, just only focus. I think he might be this.
Yeah, it's really admirable attitude that if you can just change your mindset and calm down and get yourself together in this short amount of time, even after having a bad race.
And he did a 2.12.3, so he's really fast. He's like he's 1.7 second faster than Olera, and like 1.4 second faster than Spawn. So yeah, what a great pace.
Right, apart from that ominous lap for him, he is gaining like at least 1.5 seconds per lap compared to PT.
Yeah, he's on another planet. I don't really understand, but it's the Cassoni that we saw on the last weeks.
Well, that's not all good news for any other competitors, because he'll lost a ton of points in this run. And yes, but I mean, with 5 rounds and it's round 2, we're approaching halftime. And if he keeps stretching away like this, then there will be really a rivalry as we approach the next races. You can see a Trout overtaking any lap right now.
So if Cassoni win the race, he will have no, sorry, not 80 points, because with a podium and a win, he will have 130 points, so that's quite big. And Spawn will have
130.
Yeah, because we know that the P1 take 50 points. And after with the
50
P3
points
he
per,
did.
that is per entire round, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Cassini has, for example, 50 points right now in the championship because he won both races in the first round.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, my mistake. Sorry.
Oh, it's no problem. You're absolutely right in the aspect that will take major points from him. So I think it's 15 points for P3 and it's 25 points for P1, which means
Yeah.
40 points for this round, 9 in total. Absolutely crazy.
And you were asking me if he can do under 2.12. Here, Cassini did 2.11.9. So he's in another room. Like,
He's going for a
he's just
record.
flying. Yeah. He did faster than his qualification. So yeah, this is really impressive. And so we have a battle for like the P2, and there is 3 minutes left, so 2 laps.
Spawn is now being a real annoyance for O'Hara. Only 0.5 seconds behind.
Yeah, but we saw that the defense of Oleha is really great. He's a big defender, so it's not going to be really easy for Spawn to overtake.
That's right, because it's one thing if you are faster by left hand, someone, but in a real two-wheel race, it's just as important how effectively you can overtake them. And in a track like this, well, good luck with that.
Yeah, especially there.
I think I said again,
Yeah,
it's a mistake because the gap is reduced by about 15 seconds.
he did a 2.17.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Oleha and Spawn has the same pace. So I think
Well,
at the
needs
moment,
to go on the inside to kind of stall.
yeah,
Calculated pretty well because Swan didn't really get any closer to an overtake. Because even though when he was chasing O'Hara, his first sectors were superior, but now that he would need to actually overtake him, they are quite on par with each other.
yeah, and now he needs to be really careful because he's just behind, and if Oleha do a mistake, he can crash too.
Yeah, he's really all out here. I mean, this is the last lap of the race, so it's all or nothing here.
Yeah, I think he needs to do a great exit, and so he will do it in the last sector. I think because now he's a bit too far from the car of Oleha, and now I think it's really important to have a good exit, and I think Cassini did another mistake.
Might be that, or might be him just slowing down a bit on purpose to reduce the risk of another incident. Because to be fair, he still has 2.6 seconds of gap, so he can absolutely just lift or brake a little more importance to have more stability.
Yeah, and I think Spawn will be P3 and Oleha will have a second P2.
Spawn can get the edge on Oleha as we're approaching the end of the second race. Cassini taking
another win.
Yeah, I would say a pretty confident win.
Yeah.
Despite his mistakes, still he basically left the other two competitors in the dust here.
Yeah, he's a bit inconstant because between race one and race two, we see that it's like another driver. We don't see like it's Cassoni.
So if we look at the results of the second race, Cassini took the win with setting an absolute minus lap of 2:11.928. Unbelievable. And Olehar took P2, successfully keeping Spohn in P3 behind through the entire race. So the mistake that Spohn did in the first lap actually cost him position. He couldn't make up for it.
Yeah, and also points because his rival is P1. So yeah, it's really interesting because Spawn and Cassoni did the exact same results, so normally the exact same points. So they won't be any change at the championship standing.
Yeah, so just as we are waiting for the championship standings to be approved, what do you think? What are your takeaways from today's race, today's two runs?
Honestly, I'm a bit surprised because the gaps were really small, and I was expecting Cassoni to be more dominant. I wasn't expecting Spawn to be that fast, and Olejar is really consistent. So yeah, I'm really impressed.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. We saw we saw some absolute raw pace as well as more consistency for some drivers. This was an absolutely good showcase about you can be just straight up very fast around the lap and do with the risk of doing more mistakes, and you can absolutely just not set a lap record every time, but still put in a decent performance. And paired with good defense skills, you can still absolutely take some good positions.
Yeah,
So the
honestly, I
championship
think it was.
standings. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I think it was honestly one of the best race so far because they weren't a lot of drivers, but the gaps were small, so they were battle, and we didn't know uh, who will win this the races, and so it was really interesting to follow this.
You're absolutely right. We pretty much constantly had racing on our screen, not just people going after each other with several car lengths or several seconds parting them. And yes, the P1 was, well, maybe not in the second race, but in the first race it was absolutely open all race long who was going to take it. But also any track position apart from Cassini's P1 in race two was well, not guaranteed. Everyone was keeping
Yeah,
up with the others pretty well.
yeah, and that's what we want to see in motorsport. Like, if we know P1, P2, and P3, the race is less interesting. Like, with a battle at three drivers for P1, this was really interesting. And that's what we want to see.
That's right. So if we, after all, this is a championship, so if we take a look at the standings, we can see that my calculations were, thank God, right, and Kasuni is leading with 90 points. So far, he did not miss a single podium in the series in the first two rounds. That definitely sets an example for the others. Spurn is following with 73 points, which is, if you consider that you can take 25 points with a win times two because of two races in each run. That's not at all um, an unreachable gap between the first two drivers. And now Olahar also took very decent points today and secured a pretty good spot on the championship so far with 61 points, ahead of the people who weren't here with us in the second round. Bajaki having 30 points compared to Olahar's 61. So
And
go on, go on.
yeah, and I think, as I said at the beginning of the races, every point are really important to take on this championship because tonight Bosaski was not here, so he lost P3, and so if it continues like this, Oleha, like he's not the fastest and not the one that we see over time, but he do the races and he's here in P3 and that's really good.
You're absolutely right. It only takes decent, consistent performances to still be among the top three in the championship, and I think that's pretty marvelous. That not you don't necessarily have to be the Michael Schumacher of the championship, and you can still take a very good result home. So this is how we stand after the second round of the Scene R1 Cup, and if we have a look at what will happen in the future, our next round
We will
will be in Mugello in the 20th of November. Now, if we are talking Italian racetracks, I think this track is a bit overshadowed by the two titans, Monza and Imola. But in my
oh,
opinion, in terms of how good the track is and how good racing it can offer, it is absolutely on par with its two brothers.
yeah, Mugello is my favorite Italian track. Like for motorbikes and for cars, it's just really incredible. A big straight line, and also the corners are really good. And like for Formula One, for example, it was just wow, what a track! She's big. You can overtake, and you can take a big pleasure to drive this track. And honestly, it's one of my favorite.
Yeah, I myself am pretty fond of this track too. Especially if you have the track in mind, there's the Arrabbiata one and two corners. The with GT4 and maybe GT3 cars, the two uphill corners, the two uphill right-handers, they're almost full throttle, or full throttle. I think in a GT4 car it will be at least. A very satisfying section of the track to master, especially with these sort of tricky downhill corners before it. But all other parts of the track, here you can really make use of any of all your skills. Of, for example, if you know how to do a decent V-shaped apex in some corners instead of the traditional or more simple U-shaped one, or
And also such as Kialami, the turn one is quite far because the straight line is 1 kilometer point one. So the first turn will be really interesting to see because it's such, as I said, Kialami, because you have a bit of straight line and it won't be the guy who take the fastest start. It will be the one who will be at the best position. I think if you start P2 or P3, it's the best place to start. So we will see, and it will be really cool to follow this race.
that's what I think exactly too. So, guys, don't forget, 20th of November, starting at 7 p.m., just the same as usual. we will go to Magellan with the third round of the CNR1 Cup. I think without further ado, we reach the set time for Farlers now. So we thank everyone for watching, and we hope we will be here next time. We hope you guys will be too. So stay safe until then. Do not catch a cold, and see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time, guys.